These are more times cocky UFC fighters got completely destroyed and humbled by their opponents.
I'm Merab times 10. My wrestling pedigree is so much better than him. Even a guy like Merab, he's a danger to everybody else but me.
Pushes forward, goes for the takedown and he gets it. Picks him up, carries him across the octagon, and here comes the slam. Boom.
Are you gonna lay on top of me and cook the clock for 25 minutes? Because that is literally your only chance to victory.
Kamaru attempt. Oh, she tapped. She tapped. And the queen has arrived. Kayla has done it.
Trash talking is a good way to mess with your opponent's head and throw them off their game, but sometimes all that talk can backfire, and when the following 10 fighters tried to talk big against warriors, they ended up getting brutally humbled. Let's start with Belal Muhammad, who after beating Leon Edwards and winning the welterweight title at UFC 304 was feeling unstoppable, but since that win went to his head a little too much, he had to be humbled. At UFC 315, Belal was ready to defend his title for the first time against rising star Della Maddalena, who was on an 18-fight winning run, but Belal didn't take him seriously and thought Jack would be an easy fight.
I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna show that I'm the best boxer in the welterweight division, I'm the best fighter in the welterweight division, and I'm gonna show my dominance again.
Although Belal respected Della Maddalena's skills and toughness, he truly believed he was on a completely different level than the younger fighter.
He's a good striker, he's got a long streak going, but the difference is he's never fought anybody like me. He's never seen somebody like me. There's levels to like pressure, there's levels to experience. I think that's gonna hurt him.
Belal was so confident going into the fight that he figured he wouldn't even need to use his wrestling, which is known to be his main strength. He believed his striking was now so sharp, it was on the level of Canelo Alvarez.
You're gonna see the meaning of Canelo hands. Jack goes down in 3, he gets knocked out.
But Jack wasn't buying any of Belal's talk. To him, the champion wasn't as dangerous as he made himself out to be, especially since most of Belal's wins were by decision.
I mean, I'd be pretty embarrassed if he broke me. He's never broken anyone, so I'm not too worried, but I expect a tough fight.
When the cage door closed, the two fighters went to war. It was mostly a stand-up battle, and by the end, both fighters were covered in blood and completely drained. But it was Belal who took the worst of it, as he walked away with a split lip, a broken nose, and a shattered orbital. After 5 crazy rounds, the judges handed the win and the belt to Della Maddalena. Days later, Belal admitted the loss was on him, as he shifted from his game plan and paid the price.
I always thought I was the best in the world, and I still think I'm the best in the world. And I was like, bro, I can strike with this guy. Like, people are coming at me telling me I can't strike with him. And obviously we lost the fight, but bro, we stood toe to toe with him. And people could say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do. I went against the game plan. I went on my own. And at the end of the day, I'm going to live with that.
Jack had nothing but respect for Belal.
What were you expecting it from him?
Yeah, I was expecting a tough fight. Obviously, he's a good fighter, pressure fighter, good wrestling, he's pretty well-rounded. So yeah, I was expecting a tough fight.
Underestimating your opponent is never smart, especially at the highest level in the UFC, and especially when that opponent is an absolute machine. But Henry Cejudo was so caught up in his Olympic gold medal pride that what happened to him next made for one of the most embarrassing humblings we've seen. When Cejudo stepped in to face Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 298, he was coming off a close split decision loss to Merab's close friend Aljamain Sterling in their bantamweight title fight at UFC 288, a fight that marked Cejudo's return after 4 years of retirement. Before that, he was a 2-division champ and an Olympic gold medalist who had beaten legends like Demetrius Johnson, TJ Dillashaw, and Dominic Cruz one after the other. So naturally, he came in demanding Merab's head on a plate. If that wasn't enough, Cejudo went a step further and called Merab an easy fight, even though Merab was riding a 9-fight win streak and had just dominated Peter Yan. In that fight, Merab attempted a jaw-dropping 49 takedowns and landed 11 of them over 5 relentless rounds.
This guy, you know he's gonna press, you know he's gonna do all this to shoot. This is why like a guy like Merab would be easy money for me. I'd hurt that dude. Because I'd let him in on my legs, make him carry my weight, and then take him down.
Cejudo was so sure of his wrestling skills that he believed he was 10 times better than Merab.
I'm Merab times 10. My wrestling pedigree is so much better than him. Even a guy like Merab, he's a danger to everybody else but me. A guy like Merab would be the easiest fight for me, and I mean that.
Merab wasn't messing around. He respected Cejudo's skills and knew exactly how dangerous he could be, especially since Cejudo himself had said that this fight was do or die for his career.
Either everything or nothing for him. And that's how his mentality, that's why he's dangerous, because I know he will try everything for win this fight, and I'm sure he's hungry. I know how hard he wants, because that's how hard I want to, because I never got opportunity to fight for the title. I want to have this experience, and that would be huge for me and huge for my country.
Once the cage door shut, Merab took over with relentless pressure and insane cardio. At one point, he even picked up the Olympic gold medalist like his kid and slammed him to the mat to embarrass Cejudo and win by a clear decision after 3 rounds of battle. After the fight, a humbled Cejudo tried to laugh it off, joking that he probably should have just gone down instead of fighting the takedown.
I probably should have just fucking went down, dude.
Even after dominating Cejudo, Merab was humble enough to give a great amount of credit to his opponent.
If we go wrestling rules, I'm sure he's better wrestler than me, but it's MMA, you know, it's totally, it's a punch, shoot, and adrenaline, and you see the arena, and the cage, you have the wall, it's different.
But apparently Cejudo didn't learn his lesson, because in his next fight, he was just as cocky before facing another rising star and ended up taking another loss that furtherly damaged his legacy. After the loss to Merab, Cejudo was booked to fight Song Yadong, and this is what he had to say when the fight was announced. Song was 11 years younger than Cejudo, but that didn't bother him at all because he thought he already spotted weaknesses in Yadong's game and felt confident he could exploit them.
I'm 11 years his elder. He's an explosive fighter, really good at countering. He's a guy that could shut your lights off with one punch. But I think the same reason why his greatest gift is also his worst enemy too. You know, that gas he could completely go straight to E.
Despite all the weapons Song Yadong brought to the table, Cejudo didn't think he was high level, and he made sure to say it in classic Cejudo fashion.
First things first, dude, get through Song, get through the Dong, and do it that way.
Is that his nickname for this week?
Yeah, but the Dong ain't long like Triple C. That's all I gotta say.
Song didn't pay much attention to Cejudo's trash talk or flashy fight promos. He kept it simple, but made one bold promise that he was going to retire the man.
I believe I will make him retired of this one.
Even that didn't shake Cejudo's confidence. At the weigh-ins, he pulled out a fortune cookie, cracked it open, and held up a little slip of paper that read "Song's luck is running out," putting on a show like only Cejudo can. On fight night, Song came out firing, outstriking the Olympic champ on the feet and stuffing all 3 of Cejudo's takedown attempts. But Cejudo wasn't going down easy. He landed some sharp punches that bloodied Song and opened up a small cut on his nose. Unfortunately, things took a turn when an accidental eye poke damaged Cejudo's vision, forcing the fight to go to a technical decision in favor of Song at the end of round 3. Cejudo wasn't happy with how things ended, as he felt referee Jason Herzog should have called it a no contest instead of a technical decision.
I have a loss on my record, Jason, because you didn't make the right call, man, and that bugs me a little bit.
Cejudo even pushed for a rematch, hoping to run it back and settle things properly. But when Dana White shot down the idea, Song Yadong cheekily offered him a sparring match at his own gym instead.
Stop complaining. If you want to fight, let's fight. If UFC don't set up the fight, let's sparring. You know, let's do sparring in your gym or my gym.
But unlike Cejudo, a cocky Marlon Vera had nothing to say after his rematch with Sean O'Malley, who proved that Vera's first win over him was nothing more than a complete fluke. Back at UFC 252, Vera made headlines by becoming the first fighter to hand Sean O'Malley a loss. However, the loss was considered very controversial as Vera landed a calf kick that shut down O'Malley's perineal nerve, essentially making it impossible for him to walk, to which Vera then capitalized on, ending the fight shortly after. But O'Malley bounced back strongly, going on a 6-fight unbeaten streak and eventually capturing the UFC bantamweight title at UFC 292 by defeating Aljamain Sterling. For his first title defense, O'Malley faced Vera again, who came in extremely cocky during the lead-up.
One of his main tools is to get on people's head, but good luck with that. But I mean, I'm gonna f you up, and I'm prepared for Saturday night. I'm not here to be friendly. I'm not here to be respectful. I'm not a karate guy. I'm a fighter. So you f with me, I'm gonna fucking f with you. I'm not fucking around, man.
Even though it was the biggest fight of his career, Vera didn't feel any pressure as he was absolutely certain he was going to walk away with the belt.
There's no pressure. I'm ready on Saturday to become the world champion.
Once the cage door shut, all that trash talk came back to haunt Vera. He was picked apart for 5 rounds, bloodied and battered, with a vicious knee to the face standing out as the highlight of the fight. By the end, O'Malley walked away with a dominant decision win, and Vera walked away humbled.
There's a viral clip of the knee that he landed. How bad did that hurt you, if at all?
The knee really, the knee was kind of like shocked me. I was like, fuck, I got clipped with something big, and I knew it was the knee. But I wasn't like, my legs were there. I was just like, fuck, that really hurt.
Now, being humbled once is okay, but Jamahal Hill is a guy who doesn't seem to learn his lesson as he consistently underestimates his opponents, only to be given a tough reality check, and his latest fight was no exception. At UFC Baku in June 2025, Jamahal Hill stepped into the octagon to face Khalil Rountree, looking to get back on track after tough losses to Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka. The fight already had major stakes in the light heavyweight division, and Hill amped things up even more by bringing the trash talk loud and heavy.
I haven't seen anything from any like that to make me think like, oh, this dude's on your level. Is he dangerous to anybody? It's a fight. It's a fight. Anybody can land a shot that'll make them dangerous, that can change the fight and all those things. So he has my respect in that. But to think that skill for skill he can match with me, I don't see it that way.
Hill was full of confidence, claiming that no matter what Rountree brought to the table, he just wasn't on his level.
Do you feel like he's the guy who's on the level you've proven yourself to be by being champion, beating former champions?
No, I don't that's no disrespect. I just don't see him as on my level. You know, even with the fights that he's put in, you know, I believe his fight before Alex was Anthony. Yeah, he fought Anthony. Anthony took that fight on 5 days notice.
I'm gonna have fun with this one. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. From the start of the bell.
No matter how much Hill talked, it didn't rattle Rountree one bit. Rountree even fired back confidently, saying Hill wouldn't even damage him.
I will not have any blood on my face in this fight. I cannot say the same about my opponent.
On fight night, Khalil Rountree put on a clinic. He dominated Jamahal Hill over 5 rounds with brutal calf kicks, heavy body shots, and powerful punches. Hill showed incredible toughness through 5 rounds, but Rountree was in full control from start to finish, outstriking him and cruising to a clear decision win. Even after taking a serious beating, Hill wasn't ready to give Rountree his props. He called the fight boring and claimed Rountree didn't really engage, completely brushing off the damage he took over 5 rounds.
Fight was a little more boring than I would have liked. You know, I expected a little bit more of an engage and him to actually come after me and listen. We were going to get after it and put more of a fight, of a show, of a performance together. But it is what it is. The onus is on me to go in and make fighters fight the fight that I want them to fight, and that didn't happen in this one.
Hill was called out by almost every viewer on his YouTube channel for allegedly making excuses. Now, Jamahal Hill is quickly becoming known as one of the cockiest guys in the UFC, but he still doesn't come close to the king of trash talk, Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier have clashed 3 times in the UFC, and their relationship has swung wildly between respect and rivalry. Their first fight was back in 2014 at featherweight, where McGregor played mind games, got under Poirier's skin, and ended the fight with a first-round knockout. Fast forward to 2021, the rematch had a completely different vibe, as McGregor came in respectful and friendly, but that version of Conor got knocked out within 2 rounds. The trilogy was by far the most heated fight between them, and McGregor fired the first shot by saying he'd knock Poirier out cold with a front kick to the nose at UFC 264. Poirier clapped back on Twitter saying, "That's a fun prediction, Conor. You also predicted a donation to my foundation, and you and your team stopped responding after the fight in January." McGregor didn't stay quiet and responded by saying that it was a donation and not a debt. From there on, McGregor blasted Poirier time and again, saying how Poirier is a quote-unquote dead body.
I don't give a fuck about him, to be honest. It's just how I am. He's a corpse, a dead body.
McGregor hurled profanities at Poirier every chance he got.
Is this getting personal for you at this point? Nah, straight business, man. This is, You're only a little bitch. Your wife is your husband. You're only a little bitch of a thing, a silly little hillbilly.
McGregor even boldly predicted that Poirier would leave the arena on a stretcher, a cocky claim that would come back to haunt him in the worst way possible.
It seems like you've been hesitant to give the official Mystic Mac prediction for this one. Can you go on record right now? Oh, I said I'm going to take him out in a stretcher. He's going out in a stretcher in this fight. What round, sir? You'll pay to see that.
Inside the cage at UFC 264, Poirier landed the heavier shots and clearly got the better of the exchanges. He even hurt McGregor during the first round, but just seconds before the end of the first round, disaster struck as McGregor snapped his tibia while stepping back, and the fight was immediately waved off by the doctor, handing Poirier the win by TKO due to injury. McGregor refused to admit defeat and even warned that the war was not over.
This is not over. If we have to take this outside with him, it's all outside.
Poirier wasn't shying away from a 4th fight either.
We are going to fight again, whether it's in the octagon or on the sidewalk. You don't say the stuff he said.
Just like Conor McGregor, Colby Covington has crossed the line with his trash talk, saying things you simply don't say, including bringing up his opponent's late father. But just like McGregor, Colby was brutally humbled, and that loss essentially marked the end of his career. At UFC 296, Covington got his 3rd shot at UFC Gold against reigning champ Leon Edwards. He had already been humbled twice in title fights by Kamaru Usman, but that didn't stop him from being as cocky and loud as ever heading into the fight.
Do you think Leon might be a tougher fight for you than Usman?
No, it's a way easier fight than Usman. I mean, Usman when he was in his absolute prime. This guy got lucky at a Hail Mary in the end of the fight to save him. So who's he beat besides that? 40-year-old Cerrone, 40-year-old fucking Nate Diaz, like Ricky Waters? Where's his resume so impressive?
All fight week, Colby claimed he was going to wipe the floor with Edwards and finally take the belt home.
He's literally got the personality of a fucking slug. He makes Usman look like James fucking Brown.
It knocked you out. That's all that matters.
He didn't knock me out. He didn't fucking knock me out, dude. The ref had to fucking cheat. I beat his ass for 5 rounds straight.
While Covington's trash talk was typical at first, he crossed a serious line by bringing up Leon Edwards' late father, who had a gang background and was tragically killed in 2004.
Literally, you're so fucking stupid. On Saturday night, I'm gonna bring you to a place you never want to be. I'm gonna bring you the 7th layer hell.
Okay.
No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer hell. We'll say what's up to your dad while we're there.
Oh!
Instead of showing any remorse for what he said, Covington doubled down and mocked Edwards for getting emotional.
No fucking pussy. Look, he's got his ultimate feeling champion. He ain't no ultimate fighting champion. He's ultimate feeling champion.
Once the fight started, Colby wasn't nearly as sharp as his trash talk, and Edwards stayed a step ahead the entire time, using his elite striking to land clean shots, while shutting down Covington's takedown attempts with ease. After 5 rounds of complete control, Edwards walked away with a dominant and well-deserved unanimous decision win. Covington didn't take the loss well at all. Instead of accepting defeat, he blamed the judges, claiming the fight was scored unfairly because of his open open support for Donald Trump.
I thought I did enough in the third. You know, he didn't put any damage on me. He got a couple low kicks, but then I started checking him at the end. So, you know, I thought I had the win. I thought I did enough, but, you know, the judges have never favored me. They hate me because I support Trump, and, you know, everybody hates Trump in this building. So.
After the loss to Leon Edwards, things only got worse for Colby Covington. He dropped another fight, this time to Joaquin Buckley, and now finds himself at a major crossroads in his career, with his future in the UFC looking more uncertain than ever. As for Buckley, he was riding high after beating Colby, and the UFC booked him against Kamaru Usman, who Buckley underestimated, only to learn that there are levels to this game, and he is still falling short. Usman came into the fight after losing 3 in a row, and his last one was a tough 3-round battle with Khamzat Chimaev, where he stepped in on 10 days notice and lost by majority decision. Usman was praised by many for his performance, especially given the circumstances, but Buckley said it was more a case of Khamzat being overrated than Usman still having that fire in him.
It really just showed that, you know, in my personal opinion, Khamzat ain't really what, you know, we think. But regardless of that, though, you know, I feel like with me and Usman, I'm going to show them, you know, there's going to be a night-day difference with Khamzat's performance over Kamaru Usman and then my performance that I'm going to have.
Buckley also joked that Usman doesn't even have knees anymore because of all of his injuries, and that will allow him to run circles around Usman using footwork he has never seen before.
A few weeks ago, you joked that Kamaru doesn't have any knees. Again, I'm just curious, how much does that factor into your game plan as you step into the octagon with him?
Oh, with him not having no knees, just good footwork, good footwork. I see the guys that Kamaru Usman he's training with, don't know, none of those guys move like me whatsoever, so he's not going to be prepared for what he sees when he steps out into the octagon.
Usman welcomed Buckley's confidence as he felt it made the fight more exciting.
He's confident, and that's important, and I like that. So it adds a little more fire into, you know, no one wants to just go out there and fight a fish. It doesn't, you know, you don't get that excitement that we all want. So he's going to come, he's ultra confident, ultra aggressive, and I'm going to just be me.
When the cage door closed, Buckley's confidence didn't help him much as Usman stuck to the basics, used his wrestling and controlled the fight for 5 rounds to earn an easy decision win. After the fight, a thoroughly humbled Buckley admitted that there are levels to the game and he still needs to do a lot of work to get to the top.
I feel so humiliated, man, because of that loss. But at the same time, I gotta bow my head. Usman showed me who he was. Truthfully, bro, right? And I really just gotta understand that, you know, as many excuses that I can make about this fight and why it didn't go my way because of X, Y, Z, it don't matter. That night, it really showed its levels to this game.
Now, while nice guys like Usman usually let their fighting do the talking, every now and then they win the verbal battle too, and Dricus du Plessis did just that when he completely got under Israel Adesanya's skin, mentally breaking the cocky champ before throwing him out of title contention for good. When Adesanya faced off with Dricus du Plessis at UFC 305, it wasn't just about the title, it was personal. Izzy was fired up and wanted to teach DDP a lesson for his past comments, where du Plessis questioned whether Adesanya, Kamaru Usman and Francis Ngannou were truly African champions, since they no longer lived or trained in Africa.
Did those belts ever go to Africa? As far as I know, it came to America and New Zealand. I'm going to take a belt to Africa.
The lead up to their fight was super intense. Adesanya kept taking digs at du Plessis pretty much every chance he got, trying hard to get under his skin.
If he wants to have to be perfect, if he feels that way, sure, but man, it's hard to do that against me.
Adesanya was actually planning a tour de Africa after winning the belts.
On Tuesday, I'm going back to Nigeria. I think Friday, I'm going to South Africa. And then the next week, I'm going back to New Zealand. I am a child of the earth.
But that's when DDP hit it where it hurt most.
Are you taking the servants with you if you're going back?
What the f*** are you even on about?
My God. It's obviously a see and tell. We can see that. What do you mean? You're saying that I made it
shut
about
the f*** up. You don't even know anything about my story. You have no idea who the f*** I am.
I don't care about your story.
DDP's comment effectively broke Adesanya.
I do this for my family. I do this for the people I love, and I'll fight for you forever. I swear to God. Watch this. Look, I'm a fucking human being. I am a man. I can cry and whoop your ass at the same time. I feel the love from the crowd. First time I fought here, 2-2-1. That was February 2018. That was me making my dream come true. Sunday, I'm gonna fucking kill your dreams, bitch. I wanna fucking kill your dreams.
Adesanya looked mentally off, and it showed once the fight started. Things were pretty even until the 4th round. Then Plessis landed a huge right hand that rocked him. He followed it up with a takedown and finished the fight with a rear naked choke. After it was all over, Adesanya showed respect and stayed humble in defeat.
I already knew he was a fan of me. I knew he was a fan of me, but I guess now I'm a fan of his because we've been in there, we've done it. And when I'm in South Africa, I'll tap in with him. But I said, look, we can hang out, but just so you know, when we have to fight again, I'm going to kill you. He's like, I'm going to kill you too.
It's never a smart move to poke someone who's clearly on another level, but fighters like Julianna Pena still try their luck and end up getting brutally destroyed for it. At UFC 316, Julianna Pena stepped in for her first bantamweight title defense against Kayla Harrison, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and former PFL champ. But despite Kayla's incredible resume, Pena mocked her as a one-trick pony.
I just know that I am very dangerous everywhere. I have multiple avenues to win this fight. I can win off of my back, I can win off of the cage, and I can win off of my feet. And having multiple avenues and multiple paths to victory is what makes me more dangerous. Whereas she has only one shot to beat me, which is laying on top of me for 25 minutes.
Pena even accused Harrison of potential PED use.
I don't care what she says about how much she's been tested and how clean she is. That's what Lance Armstrong said too, and you would have believed him every freaking time he said it. You would have been like, he's telling the truth, when really he wasn't. So it's just one of those things where, you know, people are smart. They know how to cheat the system, and this is a question that she needs to answer, not me.
Even when they came face to face, Pena kept that same energy.
Are you gonna lay on top of me and cook the clock for 25 minutes? Because that is literally your only chance to victory. You're fighting a bunch of grandmas that are ready for the freaking wheelchair.
First I was ducking Cyborg, now
That is
I
how
was
you
fighting
made
grandmas.
your freaking
Which
first
is it?
pro to five fights. Girls that have never ever fought again after they fought you. How are
On
you going to be
June
gonna lay on top of
you're
me for
gonna
25
find out.
minutes? Good luck. You're gonna knock me out? You're gonna knock me out? Good luck. I think we saw right there how you doing, Amanda. She wasn't able to knock me out. I have never seen you knock anybody out. You're gonna knock me out?
Pena didn't completely get in Kayla's head, but she definitely made a dent as Kayla admitted she had never felt that much heat from an opponent before.
I think hands down this is the most trash talk. I mean, I don't need, like, the talk itself is trashy. I don't know if it's good trash talk, but it's trashy. This is the most I've ever had to endure. Yeah.
Pena may have won the trash talk battle, but on fight night, it was all Kayla Harrison. She took control of the octagon from the start, landing takedowns whenever she wanted, and completely dominating Pena before finishing her with a submission in the 2nd round. Pena was completely shattered after the loss.
It's humiliating, it's embarrassing, and it sucks, but like I said, oh well, live to fight another day.
Disrespecting champion fighters almost always comes back to bite you, especially for rising talents like Manon Fiorot, who undermined a legend like Valentina Shevchenko and in return got taught a lesson she won't forget anytime soon. Heading into UFC 315, Manon Fiorot was set to challenge Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight title, but she wasn't impressed by Valentina's legendary resume. Despite Shevchenko having 2 flyweight title reigns and a record 7 successful title defenses at the time, Fiorot brushed it all off like it didn't mean much.
I think she's not the best woman in the world. She's not dominant as she had a few years ago because of perhaps the level of the division. And when I see her fight against Della Santos, it's a split decision and it's tight, and same thing for Grasso, and she lost one battle. So yeah, definitely the level of the flyweight division is higher than in the past.
Fiorot also felt that she was better than Shevchenko in several areas.
I'm bigger and stronger than her, and if you take a look at UFC statistics, I throw more punch during the fight. It's fact, and I think I have a better cardio too.
When it came to Valentina's recent performances, Fiorot was just as dismissive as she accused the former kickboxing queen of laying and praying on the ground instead of fighting to her strengths.
I'm not impressed by her performance. For me, it's just lay and pray, and she blocked the fight, and I don't see a lot of heat and stuff like that. And definitely, for me, it's not a good performance.
Shevchenko couldn't have cared less about the trash talk.
What she's been saying, how much has that bothered you?
Nothing. No, I kind of like, my experience in martial arts, it's so many years. I started when I was 5, and all these years before joining UFC, I already was 17-time world champion in Muay Thai, in MMA, in kickboxing. So imagine how many different characters I were able to meet, and how many like words they could say or some. And if it everything would bother me, I never would achieve what I achieved.
On fight night, Shevchenko had to push through a few close rounds, but she clearly did more damage. She set the tone early by breaking Fiorot's nose with a nasty punch in the opening round, and then dropped her with a clean shot in the 4th to stay ahead on the scorecards. Fiorot put up a solid fight, but over 5 rounds, Valentina was just on another level, and in the end, all 3 judges scored it 48-47 for Shevchenko. Fiorot was devastated with the loss, but she promised to keep going for better days ahead. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and check out 30 UFC knockouts that completely shocked the world.